Good evening, everyone. This is Travis with COCAB, Watch Collectors of California and Beyond, with another watch review. I do want to mention that I'm not earning any compensation. I'm not keeping the watch. I'm just going to look at it and share my thoughts and feelings with you about it. Tonight we're going to be looking at the Delma Quattro dive watch. Beautiful watch here. You can see some unique details right from the beginning with the 6 grips there on the bezel. Kind of gives it a porthole look. I really like that. And some other exciting things that we'll be looking at as we get into it. As we start off, though, I did want to mention by saying that this is a brand that was founded almost 100 years ago, 1924, by brothers Adolf and Albert Gilliman, and they founded A&A Gilliman near Grenchen, Switzerland. In 1966, the company was renamed Delma Watch Limited, and it remains Delma to this day. This is a limited edition watch, limited to just 999 pieces. Overall look, you're going to see that it's not your classic dive watch, although it does bear a lot of resemblance to one. As we look at some of the details, it's quite a bit different. The first thing, and I mentioned this already, is it's got a unique bezel. I'll let you listen to that. So it's pretty cool. Very little give, a little bit back, and forth. Not too much, but it looks pretty good. You can see it going all the way around. We'll try to get it lined back up there. First of all, to look at the the basic specs. One of the things that really does set this apart is what they call the Rapid Bracelet Exchange System. And we'll look at that more in detail later. But there at the 8 o'clock position, there's a hint for you. All right, the basic specs, it is about 13.7 millimeters thick, weighs about 230 grams. Diameter is about 44 millimeters. You're going to notice something interesting right here too. We don't have to give the the crown width, because there's no crown showing. Another interesting thing with this watch, and again, we'll look at that a little bit more in a little while. Lug to lug is about 49 millimeters. So nice size watch there. Lug width is about 22 millimeters. This is interesting though, with this rapid exchange system, there are no drilled lugs, and we'll show here in a bit that that's pretty much going to stay the bracelet as is, although there's other options that we'll talk about as well. Water resistant to 500 meters or 1,650 feet. You might be able to see that on the screen right there. It is made in Switzerland. It has a 2-year international warranty, and it's available in this gorgeous orange. I just love this orange, as well as black and blue. And each has a stainless steel bezel, which you see here, or a black bezel. Has a sapphire crystal on the front, anti-reflective coating, of course. Has a caseback crystal that is also sapphire. You can see right there also a really nice custom signed Delma rotor there. So that's pretty cool. Some interesting things on the dial. It's actually a little bit narrower because of the thick bezel. It comes in at about 29 millimeters, so a little bit narrower than some. Has a signed Delma with the crown right there on the dial, so that looks really nice. Has a nice angled inner chapter ring. I think you can kind of see the angle with how I'm holding the watch right now. And it is enumerated with white numbers at each 5-minute mark. Let's see here, I think you can see those right there. The indices on the exterior bezel, we have the minute markers, the 5-minute the 5-minute indices, the 15-minute round dots, the real small ones right there. And there's 1 at 15, 2 at 30, and 3 at 45 with these larger circles right here. So that's pretty cool. Helps keep you oriented very easily. And then, of course, the triangle right at the very top. And then on the dial itself, there are loomed ovals at the 6 and 9, 2 of them at the 12, and then the little circles at the 5-minute marks. Hit this real quick with this to kind of show you the loom. Really is nice. You've got the loom on the dial, the hands, the bezel, and it just looks fantastic. So That's pretty awesome. You can see how it continues shining for some time. All right, the hands are all centrally positioned. You can see that. The minute hand is C5 Super Luminova, and it's emphasized with orange for prominent visibility. I think you can kind of see that right there. The hour is the C5 Super Luminova also, and the seconds is kind of a lollipop hand. Yeah, you can see it coming off there. So it's kind of a lollipop hand. Again, has the C5 Super Luminova, and it is also emphasized with orange. And you'll see all of the hands are all black at the center. So nice crisp look with that. All right, the unidirectional 120 click rotating bezel. It is 120 clicks. We already went through it once. It does have those 6 bold grips. Those are really nice, and for actual divers, this would be a pretty easy bezel to change while diving because of those 6 great grips. Again, it almost resembles a porthole, which is, I think, very fitting, and I think a really neat kind of different variant to the look on this watch. The bezel is a little bit thick. We mentioned that before because the dial size is only 29 millimeters. The bezel is about 7 millimeters on each side. So a nice sized bezel there. The crown is in the 3 o'clock position, and now we kind of get into some of the interesting stuff here. So you're going to see this does not have a normal crown. You can actually take this with a coin or even just your fingernail. It's pretty easy to undo. Just put it in there. You can undo it like that. This does come with an actual custom tool just for this, but again, you could do it with your fingernail. Once it comes out a little bit, you can actually unscrew it like that. Now, here's the thing that's interesting, though. You can't pull it out to set the time or the date unless you employ their Rapid Exchange System. To do that, you have the 8 o'clock button here. And while we're here, I'll just point out, here's the 9 o'clock Helium Escape Valve. Sorry, my mind went blank. And so here we're going to go ahead and release this, and you'll see that we can turn the whole case basically turns. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Let's turn it the other way. Here we go. You can see it, and then it pops. And when that happens, now you're left with this, which is the metal bracelet. And then separate, we have the actual watch, the whole case. We'll go ahead and look at this a little bit while we've got it off here. And basically, you have to take it off like this in order to pull this out to adjust the time or the date, which we can do. Let me pull it out. I think I got to get it on. There we go. So you can see it nice, clicks into place, very nice. Once you have the case off of the Rapid Exchange System, it's not a problem at all. But it is a little difficult in that you do have to change it from, or take it off of the Rapid Exchange. So that would be one thing that you'd want to be aware of. All right. The crown itself is approximately 5.5 inches in diameter. It's about 4 millimeters wide, but only sticks out about 2.5 millimeters, and that's only until you engage it. Once you engage it and screw it in, again, it sits flush with the watch. There you can see that, so it doesn't stick out really at all. So it's not signed, it just has the notch in it. Screws down with approximately 4 turns, and there's no standard crown guards as they're not needed, but the entire case basically protects the crown, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. The case material is stainless steel, looks great. Unique, symmetrical, perfectly round when it's outside of the bracelet system. And when attached, it does look more like a classic dive watch, but without the crown. So we're going to do that right now, just kind of show that in reverse, putting it back on. You put it basically in here, slide it around until it catches, and then you can hear it click into place. Now, here's one of the problems is I have yet to be able to do this without messing up the bezel, because as you're trying to put it into the bracelet exchange system, it does turn the bezel a little bit. So just to kind of throw that out there. All right, let's look again a little bit more at the case back. It is engraved, and you'll see something kind of cool about this. We've almost got an inner and an outer case back, so that's kind of cool. You can see the 6 notches there to remove the inner case back if you wanted to get into the movement. The outer ring says Rapid Bracelet Exchange System. Kind of see some of that there. And the inner ring says Swiss-made stainless steel, has the serial number, limited edition. This one happens to be 030 of 999 and 50 ATM or 50 atmosphere. It also has a signed rotor. We saw that. That also says 26 joules. It's all Swiss-made and it's signed Delma. So pretty nice looking case back there. All right, so the lugs are not drilled. Lug to lug, we mentioned again, was 49 millimeters. And again, you would not be able to trade out for other bracelets or straps unless you got one that just fit perfectly on this little centerpiece there. The clasp is stainless steel. The bracelet is stainless steel. The bracelet, you will notice, tapers from 22 millimeters at the case down to 20 millimeters at the clasp. And you see the clasp does have a nice signed Delma. I did want to mention that with this clasp, I noticed that you only have to hit the one side in order for it to open. So there could be an issue there. If you bump that, it could come open a little bit. It's not super easy, but it is definitely possible to do, especially, yeah, there we go, especially when it's sideways like that. All right, the movement itself, we looked at it a little bit ago, but it is the automatic SW200-1 with that custom rotor. It's 26 joules. It does have about 38 hours of power reserve and 28,800 vibrations per hour. The packaging is amazing. I'm going to set the watch to the side here for a minute. Do want to share the packaging with you. It comes in a very large, large shoebox size box. And then inside of that is the inner box. It is just beautiful. It's also huge. So let me see if I can get it open here. Here we go. You'll see the presentation is just amazing. You've got the area here that the watch would normally sit on, right there on the cushion. And then something that's very unique. I want to pull this out and show you. Here we have the decompression table. So for serious divers, this is a pretty cool tool. And I'll show you how that works. I'm going to take the watch off camera, just because I've already showed you that before. And then you basically just take the watch and you put it right on the decompression table. There we go. And so if you wanted to take this as more of a tool and attach it to some of your diving equipment, that type of thing, you can see that you could do that. And it's got the charts on the back. It's really pretty cool. I like that a lot. All right, I'm going to take that back off. You can see how quick and easy it comes off. Set that down to the side again. And then you'll see this whole shelf comes up. Inside here, we've got really nice leather case. We'll open it up real quick. And you can see it's signed. You got room here for 3 watches and then a little pouch on the side over here. Each of the watch spaces has a nice area that you can put your watch around that and then roll it up. And again, it just looks fantastic when you're done. And then the next thing that we need to look at is, here we have another part of the bracelet exchange system. You can see it's signed Delma. And again, all we have to do is take the watch and slide it in here, just like that. And then it slides into place. Oops, I don't have it quite right yet. Let's see here. I think I got it twisted around. There we go. And so once that's on there, it looks perfect. You got the rubber strap for diving. And again, it comes on and off of there very easily. Much easier than I made it look when I'm trying to do it practically one-handed. So, all right, so the wearability. I found this watch to be very comfortable. Sits nicely on the wrist. It doesn't stray much as you're wearing it through the day. The bracelet is easy to use. It's comfortable. You can tell it's quality. The winding, it's very easy when the watch case is detached, but it is very difficult when not. So we mentioned that already. You can actually wind it without taking the case off, but you can't set the time or the date without it removing it. Putting on and taking off is very easy. Turning the bezel is very easy, but again, that is one thing when you take the case on and off. Almost every time I could not avoid turning the bezel. Not a big deal, but just thought I'd mention that. So what could be improved? Probably that bezel moving so easily. The fact that you can't set the time or wind it unless you remove the case, or at least you can't wind it easily. And then also the fact that you only need to push one side of the clasp to release it. Nitpicking, the power reserve could probably be a little bit better. It's not bad, 38 hours, that's decent, but it could be a little bit better. And then finally, what makes it unique and what I love. It's interesting, the Rapid Exchange System, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. I always like unique things, so I really like that. I love the originality of it. Again, it just makes it difficult to set the time and that type of thing. I love that it takes a unique take on the popular diver design. I think that's awesome. It's very beautiful. It's well-made, high quality. Love that orange dial. Love the great loom. The porthole style bezel, that's really kind of unique and very nice. I love that. The inner and outer case back, when we look at that and you can see the two parts of the case back, I think that's kind of cool and very original. The Rapid Bracelet Exchange System, I mentioned that already. The disappearing crown gives for a nice look. And then that decompression plate, that's just plain cool. I mean, that is something you don't see, or the decompression table. You just don't see that on watches, and I thought that was very nice. So this watch sells for $2,490. It is a high quality, not a cheap dive watch, but one that will, I believe, serve you well. And I see this probably being used mainly by those that are truly avid divers, and also those that just would love a very unique, very awesome looking and cool dive watch in their collection. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and comment and like. If there's something I did not cover, just let me know. And you can put it in the comments and I can answer it there. And again, thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll talk to you next time.